Good morning to all of you. I missed the last 2 years to be at OGTC International Conference. This year I made it. One important subject, and I think the topic about KPI, I think the industry is a little bit confused about the difference between KPI and business strategy. And most of the people, they believe that KPI is the key to measure and improve efficiency. And I was interested, to listen to Bruce this morning when he mentioned about the 4 elements today that drive your business, talking about marketing intelligence, talking about merchandising, product development, and engineering. And he brought it all the way to production and mentioning about competitive selling price. Today I'm going to cover the selling price. I think your money is going to come only from the selling price to be able to sustain your profitability. So this session will cover only cost because the KPI topic is so huge. It's very heavy. And it covers the whole industry from services to manufacturing. So I'm going to take that portion, which interests, I think, every one of you. It's about cost reduction. Most of the companies, they said, Char, I'd like to improve, but I always tell them, why don't ask the question, what is blocking your improvement instead of saying, I want to improve. So today I'm going to take you through it, through a real-life case study, which is being implemented in Bangladesh under George Asda project, because George Asda project was aimed to create customer-focused supply chain. What it means customer-focused, it becomes with partners. You help me, I help you, in terms that you sustain your profitability and provide fair wages to your employees to enhance their better life. So let's take it from here. So we all talk about managing performance. Many companies, what they have done, they just set series of KPIs, like some of them, let me just change my slides because I'm getting older and I need glasses. So I said I don't look nicer on the camera, having some glasses. Look, it comes back to the same way. I think my time is running out. So here we go. Am I right? Yeah. Usually KPIs are built, are selected, or chosen in order, to define how you're progressing toward your course strategies. Some people, they confuse this. When we talk about strategy, a lot of people, they said, I have KPIs in the company. Why should I have a strategy? It's the same. Some other people, they said, I have KPI in my company. This is the vision for me. I want to take you through this, but the only way, to make you understand this in about 15, 20 minutes, I cannot take you over theoretical speeches. I'd like to take you over the process, how we select KPIs and what's the action behind it in order to achieve that KPI as being planned. So there's a process model, we call it, for performance management. It starts with a vision. It moves from the vision, we cascade it to a strategy. Strategy, it builds into objectives. Those objectives have been translated into KPIs. KPIs has several elements that contribute to KPI. We call them KRA. What it means the key result areas. And what happens in the bottom, all the action. The bottom part, which is all the action, the answer. Anything start in a business, to manage a business, first you need to understand where you want to be in the next 5 years. Most of the company, I've been over 500 factories in the world. I've been talking with and working around, and none of them, some of them, they have a vision. They want to know where they're aiming in the next 5 years. Some of them, they have a strategy, how I'm going to meet that vision. They describe a strategy, and from that strategy, they define objective to meet in order to achieve that vision. And every strategy and every objective has critical successful factors in order for you to reach what you are planning to aim. And from that, this is the KPI being selected. So instead of talking about all this, I prefer to take you through it, through a real-life case example, starting from Bangladesh, which we have done 12 factories in the same sense. Vision, what it means? It means like to become the most respectable, successful company, sharing markets all around the world, and the most important part, and become ownership experience. Self-ownership experience, it means create a partnership with your own buyers. You know, like Bruce was talking about the relationship. But how do I achieve this? You know, it's very easy to say, you know, I want to become a partner with my buyer, and I tell him, listen, I'm a partner. I'll do anything you want. But this is not the way, you know, how you transfer and cascade this vision into the floor level. Today I want to talk about the floor level because your KPIs are generated from the floor level. Moving into strategy. Now, strategy, it defines, you know, the road, the direction that you need to take in order to achieve that vision. Vision is a statement. So if I consider those, what you call, if I consider the strategy as a cost reduction, for me, cost reduction is the most important subject because it tied up and is integrated into improvement, is integrated into long-term profit. Because if you don't have a cost reduction in a company, there's no sustained profitability at all. And today, if we measure ourselves, we say, you know, where we are standing today, I believe most of the company, they don't have a strategy even. And they don't have even a strategy in order to aim against it. The only thing we say, what? Count on the supervisor, count on the operator, count on the engineering, and you make the difference. But those people are totally disaligned, and everyone is going into a different direction. So if I take a strategy, long-term profits goal, in order for me to provide to sustain a long-term profit goals, it requires to offer competitive selling price to the market. What I mean by competitive selling price, you know, it means, you know, you don't describe your price based on your best practices. It means the price has to be driven from the market side. So where's the marketing intelligence here to provide me tools and information to tell me what the market is able to afford as a price? Where are the team in production, you know, to be able to make sure whatever I estimated and I charge it to the buyers, my profitability end of the line is there? This is where it's lost in transaction. So coming from this, it means it takes a lot of effort and hard work in order to keep improving daily practices, processes, services, management. So when I look at a company of 2,000, 3,000 employees, led by almost 300 indirect, from supervisor to managers, how do they have the same vision, the same strategy, and the same objective to drive that KPI? My cost. So take it from here. Talking about objective, to be able to achieve a long-term profit goal, there are two objectives industry needs to deal with them. When we have done those projects in Bangladesh, we started from there by understanding what the prices of George are in relation to certain type of products. Then we did a lot of feasibility study in the company in order to define what their strengths and weaknesses are and what can be done. And we merged them together to be able to drive in what we call market-driven costing system. The market-driven costing system, it's based on three categories. One, it's called planning, the cost. It means it has to start. I'm going to show you an example. You understand better what I'm talking about. Planning cost. The second part, it's called the target cost. What it means, target costing? It means I need to target my cost per standard hour. So I need to give guidance to my people on the floor. I allow you only 1 hour of order changeover. I allow you only 2 hours of rework in a time. We all measure rework by percentages, but how much does it affect your productive time? Nobody knows about it. We're all chasing number and percentage and this and that, but the reality of the world is hours. We have labor, which is working on a full day. So how much I get earning out of this labor at the end of the day? So talking about target cost in order to provide what we call allowable cost to manufacture people to manage. Now the target cost, if you look at the bottom that is written, it means the merging at the product involvement, which all the action happens. Merging the merchandiser network, merging the mechanic, the quality, the engineering, every person contribute to that product and design that product that it could suit the way how you manufacture it. Most of the time we have sample rooms that run different way than the production floor runs. And when it comes to the floor, all the discoveries. And this is where we spend time, we waste time, and this, you know, the story is too long. Like, I'm not going to talk about manufacturing improvement now. I just want to stay in the subject of KPI. So to be able to do this, so I just explained it, to be able to do this, how can I achieve market-driven or market-based costing system? They are critical successful factor. It means, what should I think about? What should I do? So if any one of you today wants to improve his company, please do not look anymore about productivity improvement as a title. Understand your business. Understand your factors, successful factors where they are. And on that basis, most of the companies are totally disaligned. That's why we struggle. Sometimes we fail in consultancy even, because it's very hard to talk to the managing director alone, then talk to the people on the floor alone, then talk to the GM alone, then talk to the CEO alone. And at the end of the day, everyone in different mind, different way, different thinking. And I'll tell you, the end result is only failure. So today, even working with OGTC this year, I have changed a lot the approach, because I know sometimes doesn't lead anywhere. A lot of struggle. So understand where you are. What I mean by this, to be able to achieve a planning cost, it means I need to budget the company. I need to understand, here budgeting the company, there's no way. Why? If I want to hire tomorrow 10 operators, you just go hire them. If I want to hire helpers, you just hire them. But your costs keep building up, building up. Why? Because you have no control on anything except your operators. And the bottom line, trust me, the control is not the operators, as you all believe. So planning costs, there's budgeting, there's structuring, there's even systems in the company. Sorry, I got excited with this. But then the target cost, what does it require? There's a long story written there. I don't know if you could read it. There's a lot even to improve and all that. But the bottom line is, to be able today to manage costs, you need to manage by value stream. It means manage the value chain. What I mean by value chain, today managing costs through KPIs cannot work anymore by profit centers. Today what we have, most of the industry, we are all having profit center, hundreds of people everywhere, hundreds of transactions, hundreds of tracking systems, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. But how do they contribute all together to your long-term profit goal? The only time probably you will know is when you see your financial statement after 3 months or 6 months, you say, we didn't make money. Is the KPI a tool that provides you some knowledge in order for you to identify the area that you need to improve? Thank you. Even my laptop tells me the time. Isn't it? So what we did in most of the company, I'm going to go quickly, we restructured the industry totally by value stream. It means we regrouped it in order to budget it. So what we did is, tomorrow I'm covering a session at 2 o'clock. You will understand if you attend. So what we did, we budgeted company. I don't know if you see the numbers, but we shared the cost, we defined the labor, we defined sometimes why electricity has to be part of the finishing department. I use more machinery in the sewing, but why should I give the expenses to the finishing department in packing, which hardly I use electricity even. So what we did to be able to allow every manager to manage his own area, his own environment within the industry, rather than managing the whole company as one shot, which you will never improve any area out of it. So what we did, we segmented the entire industry in order for us to budget it and give the full responsibility to manage it. From that, we came out, we said, let's design the cost now. I know exactly. So we defined sales groups. Sometimes I do 1,000 pieces. Sometimes I do 10,000 pieces. Sometimes I could have an order of 1 million pieces. So why it has to be the same cost to every buyer? You have to be fair. Buyers, they understand when I give you 500, there's a huge cost behind it on product development compared to when I give you 1 million pieces. So what we did, we create sales groups. And from those sales groups, we identify what we allow to production people. Definitely they're going to have delays. They're going to have some delays. They're not going to run just fully, perfectly, without any troubles and problems. So what we did, we gave them targets even and an allowable cost in order for us to be able to achieve the cost per standard hour. So that allowable cost goes to the floor. From that, this is how it looks the chart. Core objective profitability. The strategy is the profitability. The core objective is, the strategic objective is competitive selling price. And the target costing system, which segment all. So it means I give my merchandiser percentage that I allow him to find and hunt and do his best in order to get that fabric according to that percentage. I give the percentage to my engineering to find the best method, the best, most economical and practical method in order for them to fit into that cost as well. And this will become my target cost. And if I achieve this in the floor, my profitability is there at the end of the day. But how can I make it on the floor? So coming out of this, we talk about KPI. So companies, they have mixing KPIs with the core objective, with the driver of production floor, but most of the KPIs, they lead nowhere. Most of them, they measure the wrong thing. You know, like some of them, they tell me man-machine ratio. Oh, we were talking about it today. I said, why I measure man-machine ratio? For what? I could use 5 machines for one operator, and I could get you more sales per square foot, which it goes under the same overhead, isn't it? Usually man-machine ratio, we use it a lot in automation. We don't use it in the driven labor industry. There's a lot of things, so you need to understand exactly what you're looking for, what your strategy is, what your objectives are, and what's your successful factor in order for me to come. In my case here, my cost per standard hour was my goal. So my KPI is the cost per standard hour. It's not a KPI efficiency. It's not a KPI number of pieces by the end of the day. It's not, KPIs, how many reject I've done, la. Those KPIs are at management top level, which they give direction. So the KRA as the part that it goes to manufacturing floor. So definitely every KPI has many areas, has many drivers, in order to compile all together to achieve that KPI. Cost per standard hour. As a KRA, what we did is we just decompose the KPI. If you look at the cost per standard hour to the left side, and you see there's direct, indirect at the cutting room, there's direct, indirect at the sewing, there's direct, indirect at the finishing department, and every category has different item where we manage it on the floor, because all these, they contribute to one KPI called cost per standard hour. If I'm able to manage them all, so it means all these categories, they involve so many people in the company, they involve so many workers in the company, they involve so many departments in the company. So how do I manage only cost per standard hour from that production floor, and I blame the supervisor and the operator? It does not work. If you ask yourself for the last 10 years, you've been trying and you're still measuring the same thing. KPIs change even according to your goals. If your goals change and you meet that goal, the goal will change again. So from that, we have the KRA, we have hours per standards, hours produced from the SMV, hours produced whatever it is in every department. So there's a series, the absenteeism, the overtime, this and that, which we all budget them under the allowable cost. Coming out from this, look, tomorrow I'll be discovering more in details regarding this, so please bear with me, the half an hour, so I have no choice. There are so much to talk about building KPIs. So coming from the KRA, this is where all the action happens. So this company, their action is the continuous improvement culture as the second objective for their strategy. And this is where OGC, remember, everybody's talking about lean manufacturing. But still, there's misunderstanding. Lean manufacturing, by changing couple operators, changing practices, and changing processes, is nothing. It takes, if you saw my target, my successful factors, the critical successful factors, 90% are all related to management. You want to make continuous improvement culture work, you better work around your manager. There's 90% factors involving them. Operator is the easiest thing to make change if we all understand what we want. So coming from this, I will send you this probably by email. So if you look at the bottom line from the green allowable cost on the left side, the yellow one, if you look at the allowable cost, look at the action, how much details we have. We call them performance measures. This is where I guide my supervisor what she should monitor or he monitor. This is where I guide my team on the sewing floor what you monitor in order to make sure my allowable costs are achieved. It means my target cost is achieved. It means my long-term profit, it's there. And the profit goal, somebody lowered my microphone. And the profit goal is a long-term goal, is not something you measure at every order. You could measure sales at every order, but I could do bad this month, but with the continuous improvement effort, I'll do better next. But at the end of the year, I made it. But we're not patient. You know the problem, what is why you're not patient? You all look at improvement at the expenses of long-term benefits. It means you destroy the long-term benefits just to get the next day some improvement, and you sleep on it and say, thank God we made it. But this is continuous process. You need to think in the long term as a top manager or a managing director. You cannot think anymore at floor level. You cannot count pieces anymore. You cannot just think about how much I made unless you are living from day to day and you think tomorrow there's no business for you. But if you're looking to grow and grow and grow, as Bruce said, you need to start emphasizing on that culture, which we call the continuous improvement, and that will be my seminar tomorrow. But I don't stop here. KPIs has long-term even saving plans. Building that KPI of cost per standard hour, it doesn't mean my team, if you're doing good, you just fall asleep. You're going to understand how important your management skill and style to achieve that growth. A company, I took the same costing per standard hour, and my managing director in the bottom, he said, for the short plant, Charles, I need minus 40% cost reduction within a year. For the trouser plant, I need minus 62% for the next year. And for the pack and department, whatever it is, I need another 25%, let's say, reduction. As a manager, what do? I push operator? No, my friend. I decompose the target that I receive, the objective from the company. I decompose it on core objective. I decompose it on critical success factor, and I decompose it to allowable cost, and I design what I call Kaizen events. What it means, Kaizen event, it means I design activities to engage every person in the company to improve processes and practices, systems and concepts in order for me to get what I want as a long-term saving. What do you do with the increase, prices rising, prices going down, costs going up, salaries, this, labor turnover is tremendous, absenteeism, and this and that. What do you do with all this if you don't have some backup to support when a crisis happens? There is no company, there is no growth without long-term goals and without long-term saving plan. So if I put it together, if I put it together, we change the methodology in accounting today. We create three-dimensional view. It means it combines my KPI as operational on the top here. It put my manufacturing people, all the resources there, which they are my KRA. And it puts my financial result in the bottom, which are the KPI of my company. So I get the allowable cost, I get the KRA, and I get the KPI as the one chart and managed by the person. He's managing his value stream, which can be the cutting, the sewing under one process, one floor, including the engineering, the quality, under one cost. And this is how lean companies are managing today. It's a long way to go, trust me, it's not overnight. It takes years and years. And the only companies they start seeing benefits after 3 years of hard efforts. If I look at it, I think I'm not going to talk too much about it. Everybody thinks, like changing company to become more world-class manufacturing, it's only changing the practices and the process. Look at the mindset. If I map the mind of the industry, there are so much you need to think about. There is the responsibility of people. How can I deliver responsibility if they don't understand what the job is? If they don't understand how the factory should run? How can I create a system in all that? And how do all these categories, they contribute to your KPI? So it means every department needs a KPI. We have a group in Bangladesh like KDS, Aduri Group and all that. Every department has a KPI. From compliance to human resources, to merchandiser, to quality, to anything you name it. And we have production team as we have a production, and all these, they compile all together to one KPI called cost per standard hour. This is called performance management. So it takes a lot on the upper level. It takes a lot of mindset change. It takes a lot in building knowledge to understand how industry is driven. Today is not home industry anymore. It's not just a home-based manufacturing. Today we're looking at scientific management, and I'm glad there's a big generation of students now coming for the apparel industry. I think you better listen to them for the time to come. Because if they follow the same direction that everybody's following since the industry has started it, we're going to remain where we are. Conclusion, as I said, it takes a lot of effort. It's not something can be done overnight. You need first to understand where you want to be, define your vision, even if you don't want to state your vision, but at least identify your strategic points. To achieve your vision, what strategy you need to take. Probably lean manufacturing is one of it, but it's not enough lean manufacturing alone. There are so many components to drive you to the strategy that you're looking for, and KPI that could change as per your goals keep changing. So it means once you achieve your goal, probably the next year you work on something else to improve even better. As you said, Bruce, as well, buyers keep changing. Whatever you've done yesterday is not good enough today. So next day there's a new hit in the market, and you need to deal with it. So you need to think again about your strategy, your successful factors. In order then you build KPIs and define who are the area to monitor that KPI, decompose it, define your KRA, then build the people in the company to achieve those KRA. But if you don't build them, so development of our people, it becomes #1 asset for any business to grow. Don't tell me, our people, they're not interested, they come from villages and all that. Trust me. I work even for people in the village. I was in Tiripur even in 2001, and we work with operators. There is something you could attract them for. But when you have 10 managers, they talk to the same person, and none of them speak the same language. I don't talk about Hindi language. I'm talking about business language. And everyone has different mind, and everyone has different goals. One is pushed for this. Again, I want to come, I was happy, I really enjoyed Bruce's presentation when he said about quality, lead time, and price. Give me 2 out of the 3. Doesn't work. So it's not anymore ship at any cost as long as the buyer is happy. But what about your boss? What about your managing director? Is he happy? So to come back to this, KPIs have to be composed, totally decomposed, in order for you to define the areas that gives enough tools for your own people to drive it, but people to drive things without knowledge, without understanding, without a concept, without a structure, without a responsibility, without a methodology, they're going to stay where they are. Because we assume 25 years technical experience, you could do miracles in my company. As I always said in India, I always tell them, 25 years is composed of 1 year of experience, 25 you repeat, 24 repeats in it. This is how it is. Today, you need to scratch hard. You see, I'm becoming gray hair today. I'm having gray hair, and I'm losing my hair because I keep scratching. So the industry, you need to think much harder about it. If you want to grow much faster, if you want to sustain your profitability, you need really to tie it up under one goal, one common objective, and drive it in the right direction, and let your people drive it as you planned it. Otherwise, we're going to keep chasing each other, overburdening, fighting, and doing overtime, whatever it takes, in order just to ship at the end of the day because we don't want to lose the buyer. It's your choice of life. You want to grow, you better start thinking about your business, starting from the managing director level before even we talk to the people on the floor level. So this is where tomorrow I'll cover the continuous improvement culture. Today I just talked briefly about KPI. Tomorrow I'll cover the continuous improvement culture. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon for 2 hours, which you understand how much does it involve before even we change a practice and sewing line or a cutting room. It takes a lot of effort. And with that, I thank you very much. If you have any question later, I'll be around. I'm not leaving here for the next 2 days. And I thank you a lot for listening to me. Thank you.
Namaskar.